Welcome to the Ring the Bell training. Here we've got about a 12-week-old pup that I'm teaching to ring a bell to prompt us to let them outside. I start off really easy by just guiding them to the bell, whether you purchase one that's ready-made from a pet store or you make your own, whatever you like. But I just literally put the food on the bell so the dog moves over to it to lick it, and sometimes just nudge the food right off. So for this puppy, it's pretty confident. So we only had to take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to put the food on the bell, and the puppy would problem solve to hit the bell and take the food off without being too concerned. So after they get the food, I just reload it. Put another one up there. I let the puppy take its time, figure it out. If they're too distracted because they're just walking in circles and being around other spaces, I'll just kind of guide them back like I just did, where I point at it. Now this puppy's trying to problem solve. It's barking. It's like, I want the food, but I don't want to push the thing. It's weird. So I just, edited this so you didn't have to see that for like a minute, but just ignore it basically. Like, I want the dog to figure it out. I don't want to offer too much outside insight. I just want to put the food back on there and guide the dog back. And as you just saw, she went back to it right away and started licking it and got the food off. So now she's starting to associate, okay, it's not dangerous. Step 1, not dangerous. Step 2, oh, if I nudge it, the food falls off and I can eat it. And I'll just spend a couple minutes doing this some more, placing the food on there and then letting her knock it off or nudge it off herself. Now here, what she's going to do is, I've just raised the criteria to not have any food on the bell. Because as soon as they get the point of hit the bell gets food, when there's food on it, I need to go to the next step, which is just wait. I more or less put the food, behind my back in my hands or out of reach. And I wait to see if the dog will try to problem solve to go and see if there's any more food left on that bell and nudge it. And if they do nudge it, I make a big deal and give them a food reward. But if your dog waits, like a minute or two and has no idea of what you want, then you just have to practice putting the food inside the bell a few more successes before you raise that criteria to try to get the dog to hit the bell without, there being food in it, which she just about did. Now she hit it there by accident with her head, but that's fine. And she's doing it again. So I'm going to give her a bunch of rapid fire rewards because there's no food on there, but she's starting to nudge the bell to help her understand that you nudge that bell, food comes from me. So sometimes what I'll do is just if the dog, because these are puppies, right? So they're, really don't have the greatest attention span. So sometimes I'll bait the item again a few more times just to get them more invested if, they're distracted with other things. You're going to have to be patient here and quiet as best as you can. You don't want to say much. I don't want to give much feedback other than when I'm like, good dog, and I reward her like I just did. Now I've gone to the spot where I am not having any food on it, and she nudges it, so then the food gets passed to her from my back. Now she's like, oh, I just got to nudge it, even if there's no food, but then you feed me. Okay, I like that. Because the next step is really the dog nudges it, I open the door, and I toss a piece of food out, and she goes and eats it. But what's going to happen right now is once you raise that criteria and you don't have the food on the bell anymore, they're going to try to get to the food source, which is my hand, but it's not going to pay. That's why I just put my hands behind my back and I more or less ignore her and restrict her ability to get back there. But I'm not saying anything when I'm doing this. I'm trying to just let her figure it out and problem solve. So I don't want to influence her too much with my words and stuff because it gets convoluted and they have no idea what we want. So I just wait. Like I said before, if we spend like 3, 4, 5 minutes like this and she just doesn't get it, I might remind her by baiting the bell, another time or two to kind of warm her back up to it. But you don't have to do this exercise for any longer than, like 3 to 5 minutes. Try to, optimize their attention span. When I do go to that next step, when I open the door, I'm just letting you watch this to really help you understand, like, this is realistically sometimes what's going to happen is your dog's going to try to get to the food, but we just got to convey, no, the fastest way to get the food is not by trying to grab it from my hands, but rather to ring the bell. And she's going to figure it out here right quick. Boom. She's like, what the heck? I can't, like, you're not giving me the food from your hands. Maybe I'll hit this bell. And then she does. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. You win a prize. And now she's rapid fire hitting it. So to finish this out, the next step is really just she hits the bell. I open the door. I toss a food reward out. And I rinse and repeat that. And then I just start to bring her right to her potty spot.